owner, I mean, I loved this story. It was interesting because actually there was a lot of things that we don't think about, these copycats, like, you know, the McDonald's copycats. So first of all, what do we know about these Western companies that are trying to replicate what the Western has?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's difficult to say if they will want to come back, as you say, given the current context. But, I mean, I would be surprised if there weren't conversations being had somewhere behind closed doors, maybe, about wanting to come back to Russia because, you know, for a lot of these companies, Russia was a really important part of where their money came from. I mean, if you look at McDonald's as an example, they first came to Russia in 1990 and they were met with, you know, extreme enthusiasm. And people queued up for hours to get their first ever Big Mac. And in many ways, that enthusiasm never really left. I mean, cut to 2021. And like 9% of McDonald's global revenue came from Russia. And that's not a small amount. That's a pretty important amount of money. So I think the path to re-entry is quite difficult. It certainly looks quite long. It looks uncertain. But as I say, I think I would be surprised if these companies weren't eyeing it in any capacity at all.
And so we have basically these companies that we considered, you know, Russian replacements that tried to cater for the same palate or kind of, you know, take up space because these Western companies left. What are they doing to try and fend off competition?
Yeah, I mean, some of them have been really successful doing it. So, I mean, it's not a rosy picture across the board. There have been winners and losers. But, I mean, if you look at the replacement of McDonald's, which is called Vkusnyi Tochka, and that literally translates to tasty and that's it, which is quite a defiant message even of itself. And they're doing really well. I mean, if you look at the numbers, they had a pretty severe loss in 2022, but they bounced back by 2024. They had a pretty hefty profit. They now open 50 new stores every year. They've actually surpassed the amount of stores that McDonald's once had. They serve 2 million people every day. Those are hardly figures of a company that is struggling. But, I mean, even if you look at the ones that aren't maybe doing quite as well, you can look at Stars Coffee, which replaced Starbucks. They haven't opened as many stores, for example, but they are being very strategic about where they open in Russia. They are opening further into the more eastern areas, more remote cities and towns, so that the people that live there only know Stars Coffee. They don't know anything else. So even if they're not doing as better, and maybe as good as they hoped, they are certainly sharing this attitude of we are digging in our heels and we will do whatever it takes to stay and we will fight for our territory if we really have to, should their Western inspirations ever come back.